Super Smash Bros. Is a series unlike any other. I can't think of a series that is able to bring so many characters together in a scenario that's completely out of place for all representatives and yet still make it work. It's more than just a video game that cramps almost 100 characters together and tells them to fight. Rather, it's a celebration of video games as a whole. And while it is mainly Nintendo characters getting the spotlight, it has branched out to have a slew of third-party ones to make the appeal so much larger. It's somewhat hard to think that a series this gigantic now started with a dinky little N64 game. Comparing the character roster between the first game and the most recent is like crossing dimensions. Even from Smash 64 to Melee, the roster doubled in size from 12 to 25 characters, and Melee is still held in very high regard in competitive gaming. My favourite entry in the series is Brawl. There is so much more to do here than every other game following it, especially for the people playing alone. And while Ultimate is both appeal now for someone diving into the series, Brawl still has enough content to keep you playing for hours. At E3 2005, then Nintendo President Satoru Iwata announced that Smash Bros. Would be heading to Nintendo's new console, then called the Revolution. And on top of that would be the first to have online play, and would come out around the time of the new system's launch. All of this was a huge shock to series director Masahiro Sakurai, who left laboratories a couple of years prior. After E3, Iwata arranged a private meeting with Sakurai where he finally agreed to return and direct the next game. This fell through. It was like Nintendo would just bring over Melee and line support. The day after E3 2006, the game was unveiled as Super Smash Bros. Brawl. We got the game's opening trailer and name. Perhaps the biggest thing on that day was the first third-party character in the series, Metal Gear Solid Snake. Apparently, Hideo Kojima was desperate for Snake to be in Melee, but the game was too far in development for that to happen. Similarly, Lucas from Mother 3 was also planned for Melee, but left out due to Mother 3's delays. Speaking of delays, Brawl saw quite a few itself. It missed Louis' launch window by some considerable margin, and we didn't hear much of the game until E3 of next year. From then on, the official site for Brawl saw weekly updates until April 2008, but none of these updates will be as big as October 10, 2007, when the most requested third-party character joined the Brawl, Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog. In fact, Shigeru Miyamoto wanted Sonic to be in Melee as well, but just like with Snake, the game was too close to completion. At E3 2007, Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé announced the game would release on December 3, 2007. It was delayed again, and in January 2008, it was delayed one more time in Japan from the 15th to the 31st. It wouldn't release in Europe until June of that year, and I wouldn't play it in 2009. Anyway, I'm done with background check, onto the game itself. Well, the gameplay as a whole is the same as the other game in the series, but with some noticeable changes. You can play this in one of 4 control schemes: Wii Remote alone, Wii Remote and Nunchuck, with Classic Controller, or the GameCube Controller. When I first played it, the one used was Wii Remote alone, but nowadays I'd recommend any other control style. The Wii Remote was just far too limiting. As for core gameplay, it is much slower paced than Melee before it, and it has more random elements to it that make things more chaotic, like tripping, meaning that for competitive play, every other game is better than it. But Brawl still feels good to play. Unlike Melee, where I feel like I'm running on buttered marble, Brawl is more precise with movements, and combining that with the random things that can happen, especially with items on, makes it feel more unbalanced than the rest. But I think that's a good thing. Mario Kart Wii is similar in that the item balancing is so bad that it always seems out to get you, but for that reason, it becomes more memorable. Brawl has some kind of emotional feedback to the player. Tripping at the wrong time, that allows your opponent to get a cheap shot, items that can rig the match heavily against you like ray guns or the fans, and character balancing so bad that it almost feels like a ROM hack at times. And speaking of characters, let's discuss the roster at our disposal. There are 35 characters to play as, 21 of which are available from the start. Some retain their place from N64 and Melee, while others are new additions to the series. Returning from Melee in 64, you have Mario, Luigi, Peach and Bowser from the Mario series, Donkey Kong, Yoshi from his standalone games, Link, Zelda, Sheik and Ganondorf from Zelda, Fox and Falco from Star Fox, Pikachu and Jigglypuff from Pokemon, F-Zero from Falcon, Earthbound or Mother's Ness, the Ice Clan's Popo and Nana, Fire Emblem's Marth, Kirby and Mr. Game & Watch. On top of that, we have our newcomers including Lucario and Pokemon Trainer, where you can play as Squirtle, Ivysaur and Charizard, Meta Knight and King Dedede from Kirby, Wario as he plays on WarioWare, Ike from Path of Radiance, Star Fox's Wolf, DK City Kong, Tunic from Wind Waker and Fat Marglass, Pikmin's Olimar, Pit from Long Dormant Kid Icarus series, Mother 3's Lucas, Zero Suit Samus, Rob based on the toy from the 80s, and of course Snake and Sonic as step by characters. While the roster obviously isn't as big as Smash 4 and Ultimate, for 2008 it is still huge, and this roster also omits several characters from Melee, those being Dr. Mario, Roy from Sword of Seals, Young Link, Pokemon's Mewtwo and Pokemon's Pichu. While there aren't as many new characters as returning ones, the roster overall has a lot of variety in it, with only a few characters being a bit too similar to others, namely Falco the Fox and Luigi to Mario, which isn't something that can be said in other games. My favourites from this roster are Snake, Toon Link, Anime and Monkey, but it doesn't matter what I think, because the balancing in this game is like a broken scale. Characters like Pikachu, Pit and Meta Knight have unbelievable movesets that are for some almost unfair character battles, while Zelda and Gandalf feel like handicapping yourself. That isn't to say you can't have fun with these characters. Some people enjoy being ridiculously overpowered over their opponent, but I can't see why it'd be a turn for some players. And for the first time in the series, every character has a unique ultimate special move called a Final Smash. If you have items turned on, you can sometimes see a ball floating around the map with the Smash Bros logo on it. This is the Smash Ball and gives you a break set of times to unleash their ultimate power. And like everything in life, some better than others. Marth has the best. Here, it is instant kill. Even at 0 damage, you will die should this land. Along with the characters, stages for pretty much every series appear in some form, and while most are a good time, some make me bleed in anger. We have the classic Battlefield fascination, and while I can't go over every stage, it'll be our week, some of my favourite stages in the series come from Brawl. Luigi's Mansion, Mario Circuit, Castle Siege, Shadow Moses Island, Picture Chat, Bridge of Elden and Skyworld. Not to mention a stage build that allows for custom maps. However, there's always a few bad apples. New Pork City is way too big, 75 meters, and Mario Bros focus too much on platforming and not dying rather than fighting, and Hannonbow? Fuck Hannonbow. Some returning modes from Melee include Classic Mode, where you beat a bunch of AI characters in a row before fighting a boss at the end, All-Star Mode, pitch you against every character in the series based on the year they were introduced. Players can now save pictures and replays of matches they've had, but it's rather limited because replays can't be more than 3 minutes long. Event matches are great in single and multiplayer with unique win conditions. Multi-man brawl returns with 100 character challenge, time challenges and aptly named Cruel Smash, a home run contest and Target Smash come back. Then there's the biggest mode of the lot, the Subspace Emissary. This is a full-on story mode for Smash Bros. Series, and while Ultimate has this too, it isn't as good as the one in Brawl. The World of Light is more a series of fights under certain conditions. If you ask me, way too long, repetitive, and some of the challenges are damn near impossible without a ton of luck. The Subspace Emissary has actual levels for you to fight your way through, and on top of that, it serves as another way to knock all characters for regular play. And the bosses in this mode are easily the best part. They're challenging, engaging, and have their own unique movesets despite them being playable characters. But it does have some issues. It can be a bit too easy at times, the enemies are very generic, and the Great Maze can be a slog to play through. But it is still another mode to play when you're bored of the regular gameplay, and isn't mandatory to unlock everything if you just want to play a couple rounds and head out. Which then brings me onto my favourite part of Brawl, the Vault. Inside the Vault is a catalogue of things to do, and hundreds of pieces of game trivia. First off, we have the challenges. Here, you can have a bunch of different rewards completing objectives in other modes. Not only are the tasks varied in their requirements, from simply playing on some stages with certain characters, to having over 50 hours of playtime, but so are the rewards for completing them, like trophies, stickers, stages, music, more event matches, and even some that open up other areas of the vault. Trying to complete all these challenges is a serious undertaking, and adds even more playability to things you've already played, or encourage you to try other modes. As for the trophy and sticker section, you can view high quality models and artwork from dozens of games across all franchises represented, with the trophies giving you various bits of information for each trophy in the game. And on top of that, there is a mini game called Coin Launcher, which is rather fun for how simple it is. You see, whenever you finish the match in Brawl, be rewarded with varying amounts of coins. What is coins used for? This mini game, of course. In other Smash games, a similar thing happens, but in those, it's just a normal shop, where something's available, you just buy it outright. But Brawl makes this really cool space you out of these coins, and makes it feel more rewarding for getting these trophies and stickers. Not only do you spend less on these trophies than in the shop, but it's nice to see they put in a completely different style of minigame within the main game. It's a nice touch. Another nice touch is the Chronicle menu, which is effectively an archive of all the games available and past Nintendo systems. This is fascinating to see, and while it definitely isn't complete by a long way, it's good to see all these games acknowledged in some way. And I find it especially funny that after the Virtual Boy segment in the European version, when this sort of thing never released here. Music is also a vital part of the vault, because not only do we get a crap ton of original tracks, but also brand new remixed ones made specifically for this game, with Angel Island Zone and Milla's Divine Protection being amazing. Now a bunch of you may not understand why I find all this appealing, and I can understand that. Why I get excited about something that I could just as easily look up online with little to no effort. Well, again, it's because I see Smash as more than just a fighting game, but as a celebration of video games as a whole. Not only do you get to see all your favourite characters embroiled in the battle for supremacy, but you can get introduced to so many other games you may not have seen beforehand, or not even knew existed. From Brawl alone, I was introduced to Punch-Out, Fire Emblem, Metal Gear Solid, Animal Crossing, Pikmin, F-Zero, Kid Icarus, Earthbound and the Game & Watch. Not only that, but thanks to the demos included on this game that they call masterpieces, I even got to try out some of the games that the characters came from, such as Star Fox 64 and Ocarina of Time. And of course, not every game is perfect, and this one has its flaws. I already mentioned my subspace is not perfect, and how the core gameplay just wouldn't work competitively, but I'm not quite done. Firstly, this was the first Smash game to incorporate online play, and boy does it feel like it. Unfortunately, the Wii's online activity was shut down a while ago, so you're going to have to take my word for it or look around for footage online. But Brawl's online was awful. Not only does it lag more than Ark running on a kettle, but lobbies routinely crash, it would fail to read inputs, and even if the stars align for you to have a match with no issues, you'd likely be paired with people that gave you an overdose of salty spam. I have rarely had this encounter online with this game, and when I did, they were few and far between. Another thing I dislike is that while the Wii has higher quality models than Melee, the more realistic character designs don't really blend well together. It's not as big an issue on characters like Snake or Captain Falcon, but for the Mario cast, Earthbound and Kirby, I feel like everything is a lot greyer than it should be. Everyone looks depressed, and the game just looks a lot more dated than other games in the series. It doesn't pop as much as I feel it should. And finally, the biggest issue with Brawl doesn't come from the core game, but rather the thing it's on. You see, most Wii games released on standard discs, which most games had very little problem with. However, the final size of Brawl was too big to fit on those discs, so Brawl uses dual layered discs. And while they do hold more space, they also make your experience simply trying to play the game completely random. Some Wii consoles had a hard time reading the software on these discs, being that for some people, the game could completely crash when certain things happen. Crash when playing certain characters, crash when playing on certain stages, opening stage builder, crash going online, crash accessing replays, crash in subspace, or even in some cases, just fail to start entirely. I have no idea if this was an issue with the Wii console itself or the disc, and I'm also not sure if playing on a Wii U fixes these problems, because my copy has no issue doing it at all on either my Wii or my Wii U. I don't know how big an issue this was. Hell, I wasn't even aware of it until I started researching the video, but hopefully you don't have any struggles when playing Brawl, as it really is the Smash game I can look back on the most fondly. It has some glaring faults, but also great strengths. Competitive play is the worst, but the single player focus is higher than it's ever been. Online play is broken beyond belief, but local multiplayer is still just as fun as any other game. It's not objectively the best, but it doesn't need to be. But still, Cannonbow.